Your Riley Factor's on tonight.
We saw 7 million people rush to go onto the webpage to buy affordable health care.
How many actually signed up, sir?
You know, they have 6 months to sign up. This is a big decision. We never expect.
How many signed up?
The Obama administration now on the defensive over Obamacare and the government shutdown. Are Americans changing their minds on these issues? Talking Points will analyze. 2 U.S. Special Forces raids over the weekend causing all kinds of problems in the Muslim world. We'll have the inside story and discuss the fallout.
The driver was a maniac.
The driver of the SUV?
Yes, he was a maniac. He hit the first guy.
Also tonight, that vicious attack by a motorcycle gang in New York, now getting really bizarre as the victims may be sued. We'll have the very latest. Caution. You are about to enter the no spin zone. The Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight on The Factor's 17th birthday. Later, we'll have a look back at some unforgettable moments on this program, so you might want to crack up that TiVo deal or whatever else you have. Also, sorry about the frog in my throat. He takes up residence twice a year, like clockwork. Will Americans rise up against Obamacare? That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. It's now becoming apparent that millions of Americans will pay a lot more for health insurance under Obamacare. I was talking to some insurance people this weekend, big guys, and they're happy. They like Obamacare. You know why? Because deductibles and copays are going up big time. That, of course, means more profit for the health insurance companies, less money for you. Now, how many voters do you think knew that while Obamacare was being debated? In my opinion, very few. That's just one reason why individual Americans should get a year reprieve from Obamacare. Some businesses have the reprieve, and you should get it too. That's the crux of the government shutdown situation. Republicans want some changes in Obamacare. The president and the Democrats do not. But Talking Points is another question. What is best for the folks, the American people? There's a tremendous amount of confusion regarding the federal takeover of health care. Obamacare is not ready for prime time, and everybody knows it.
How many actually signed up, sir?
You know, they have 6 months to sign up. This is a big decision. We never expect.
How many signed up?
I don't have the exact number, but the question isn't
Do you
how
have
many.
any number? Because the government has refused to tell us how many.
It's the wrong question.
No, it isn't.
It's the wrong question? How arrogant. There are no wrong questions, just evasive answers. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew is dodging because he knows it's very hard to sign up on the government exchanges, even if you want to. As you may know, Talking Points is a reasonable guy. I well understand that President Obama does not want to change or delay his signature issue. And since the president didn't win re-election and Obamacare is a legal law, he has authority on his side. That's true. But if the president is really looking out for the folks, he has to know things are not working out very well, and that the country needs another year to better organize the health program and to see who's going to suffer because of it. That's just fair. If Republicans are smart, they'll simply pound home that theme. Delay Obamacare for a year so we can see the full picture and allow the feds to get better organized. Again, if Obamacare is a good thing, the folks will know it. If it's a bad thing, then the law should be changed, right? 1 year from today, that tale will be told. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, even some liberal journalists are getting annoyed with the way the Obama administration is conducting itself. Apparently a New York Times reporter, David Sanger, and the former editor of the Washington Post, Leonard Downey, saying some nasty things about the powers that be. Joining us now from North Carolina, the purveyor of BernardGoldberg.com, Mr. Goldberg. So what's the beef from the lefties, Bernie?
Well, there's a report coming out this week, Bill, about press freedom during the Obama years. And in it, David Sanger, who you mentioned, who's a very good national security reporter for the New York Times, he says, and this is a quote, that the Obama administration is the most closed, control-freak administration he's ever seen. And Leonard Downey, who ran the newsroom at the Washington Post, as you mentioned, he says that national security reporters find, this is a quote, that government officials are increasingly fearful of talking to them, and they worry that their communications with sources can be monitored at any time. So what they're basically saying is that the Obama administration is the most secretive in memory and they're even prosecuting leakers in greater numbers than ever. And this makes it very difficult for reporters to do their job. That's basically what they're saying.
Do you believe that?
I think it's a matter of much more a matter of gray than black and white. First of all, they're talking about national security stories. Now, I'm willing to accept that if the administration is merely hiding stuff because it would embarrass them, then publish away. Broadcast everything you can find, publish everything you can find. But what happens, Bill, when a leaker, who, by the way, has taken an oath not to divulge secret information, what happens when a leaker goes to a reporter with information that really is harmful to our national security? We can't simply talk about the leaker. We have to have a discussion about the reporter who is disseminating this information to millions and millions of people. You can't just blame the leaker for what he did. If he's wrong and causing harm, isn't the reporter also causing harm? Now, I think most reporters are responsible enough that if they get information that is truly harmful, they will be very careful and might not publish that information.
Yeah, but they all rationalize, you know, just like this WikiLeaks crew and Manning, Bradley Manning. They're all like, we're doing it for the good of the country. We're patriots. That's exactly right.
And let me make a prediction because of that. You're right. We have 1 million websites and 1 million bloggers. And what's going to, and I predict this will happen, that somebody's going to leak information about an ongoing operation, and a CIA agent in some bad place is going to get his head blown off.
That's right.
At that point, you can't simply blame the leaker. At that point, you have to also hold the so-called journalist responsible for disseminating that information.
I mean, it's impossible, to be fair, to know how oppressive the Obama administration has been toward the reporters. We know the Rosen situation, that they were very intrusive on him. But at this point, let's just raise the question that on the record, even the left-wingers, okay, are objecting to how the Obama administration is dealing with information flow. Let's sort it. All right, now, the government shutdown and is all about power. It's about one party trying to destroy the other and posturing for the 2014 elections. The folks are getting hosed in the process. Do I have it correct?
Well, I think the folks have gotten hosed long before the shutdown. How many people out there, how many people watching us, how many millions of people out there in America even know what's in the bill? Now, I follow this stuff, and I don't know, not the bill, the law. I follow this stuff, and I don't know. I'm hearing on television only in the last few days that if you're a woman, let's say 55 or 60 years old, your policy has to contain maternity benefits. And if I've never used hard drugs in my life, my policy would have to include visits to rehab. Now, if that's true, why didn't we know about that 2 years ago? Well, that's right.
And it still isn't all fleshed out. So this is what I don't understand for President Obama. If it's so confusing and so up in the air, just delay it a year. And therefore, then everybody would agree on that compromise. The government would reopen. They could debate the debt ceiling. Everything would fall into place. Doesn't that make sense?
There would be no shutdown if President Obama merely threw the Republicans a bone. You can't expect them to compromise on repeal. You can't expect them to compromise on defunding. But he could have given the Republicans
just a delay
of the tax. He could give them repeal of the medical devices tax, or bring Congress into it so that they don't get special subsidies. He wouldn't concede or compromise on anything. And you may be right when you said the other day that this stems from his apparent weakness on Syria.
No, there's no doubt in my mind.
Connection, connecting the dots to what's going on right now.
All right, Bernie, we've got to let you go. Thank you. Next on the rundown, is it fair to punish Americans to help other Americans? Yes, we're talking about Obamacare. Juan and Mary Catherine will answer that question. And later, American Special Forces attacking two terrorist enclaves over the weekend. We'll have the inside story on that upcoming.